God's chosen one, 7 signs. Your spiritual awakening is over. It's time to use your powers. Have you ever felt a strange power inside you that nobody else understands? Do you sometimes wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, knowing something massive is about to change in your life? What if I told you that feeling isn't random? It's a divine appointment that 19% of people will never experience. This message didn't find you by accident. Chosen one, listen carefully. The universe has been preparing you while others sleep. That trembling in your soul, that's not anxiety. That's your spiritual DNA recognizing its true power. That's destiny breaking through the walls you've built around your heart. I've helped thousands awaken to their divine calling. But what I'm about to reveal has been hidden from the masses. The spiritual elite don't want you to know this. Your spiritual awakening isn't something you're still waiting for. It's already complete. Chosen one. The waiting is over. The searching is over. The preparation is over. For years you've felt different, set apart, like you were meant for something greater. While others chase material success, you've been haunted by a deeper calling, a mission that won't let you rest. The truth is shocking but undeniable. You were chosen before birth for this exact moment in history. The world is at a critical tipping point, and the powers that be are terrified of people like you, awakening to their true spiritual potential. Your entire life, every challenge, every victory, every seemingly random encounter was orchestrated to prepare you for what comes next. The 7 divine signs have already manifested in your life, though you may not have recognized them. If your soul is shaking right now, if something deep inside is screaming, "This is for me," if you know without a doubt that you've crossed a threshold, you can never return from comment 8 right now. This isn't for everyone. Many will watch this message and feel nothing. That's because they're not ready, they're not chosen. But you already know your awakening isn't beginning, it's complete. And now it's time to use your powers, chosen one. Are you ready to discover what you're truly capable of? The truth about awakening not to stay. What if everything you believed about spiritual awakening was incomplete? What if the very awakening you've been seeking, the one that's kept you reading books, watching videos, meditating for hours, was never meant to be the destination at all? What if you've been circling the doorway when you were meant to walk through it? Chosen one, I need to speak a hard truth into your life today, one that might shake the very foundation of your spiritual journey. Many of you watching right now have been awakened. You've had your eyes opened. You've seen beyond the veil of this world. You've experienced moments of profound clarity, whispers from the divine, that confirmed you're different, set apart, chosen for something greater. But here's what nobody's telling you. Awakening was never meant to be a place where you stay. Look around you. How many spiritual seekers do you know who have been awakening for years? 5 years, 10 years, even decades, constantly consuming spiritual knowledge, attending workshops, reading sacred texts, seeking the next revelation, the next teacher, the next confirmation. Always seeking, never arriving. The enemy's greatest deception isn't keeping you asleep, it's keeping you stuck in awakening. As it says in James 1:22, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. God didn't open your eyes so you could spend your life staring in awe at the fact that they're open. He awakened you for action. The true purpose of spiritual awakening isn't endless seeking, it's becoming, it's transformation. It's stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. Think about it. What good is a door if you never walk through it? What good is a map if you never begin the journey? What good is the truth if you don't embody it? Chosen one, I want you to pause right now, take a breath, and ask yourself this question. Am I truly still seeking, or am I afraid to act? That discomfort you're feeling, that's conviction. That's the Holy Spirit stirring something deep within you. You see, staying in a perpetual state of awakening is comfortable, it's safe. You get to feel special, enlightened without the responsibility of manifesting that light in the world. You get to consume without having to create. You get to know without having to do. But Ezekiel 22:30 tells us, I looked for someone among them who would build up the wall and stand before me in the gap on behalf of the land so I would not have to destroy it, but I found no one. God is looking for those who will do more than just awaken. He's looking for those who will stand. Every day you spend seeking more confirmation, more knowledge, more signs when you've already received everything you need, is a day the world goes without your light, your wisdom, your power. People are suffering while you're sitting in meditation. Lives remain unchanged while you're reading another spiritual book. The world continues to spiral while you're waiting for one more sign. Moses stood at the burning bush, awakened to his calling, but then had to walk back to Egypt. David was anointed by Samuel, awakened to his destiny, but then had to face Goliath. Mary was visited by an angel, awakened to her purpose, but then had to birth the Messiah. Awakening was just the beginning of their journey, not the destination. What if today is the day you stop seeking and start becoming? What if right now is the moment you step through the doorway of awakening into your divine purpose? Chosen one, hear me clearly. Your awakening is complete. The preparation phase is over. The time for consuming is done. Now is the time for creating, for manifesting, for using the very powers that God has placed within you. I know it's scary. I know it feels safer to keep seeking, to stay in that familiar space of learning without doing. But the world doesn't need more seekers, it needs doers. It needs you, fully awakened, fully empowered, fully activated in your divine purpose. As you'll discover in these 7 signs, your soul already knows this truth. Your spirit is already restless for action. That's why you found this message today. That's why something inside you is resonating with these words. The universe isn't calling you to awaken anymore, it's calling you to rise. Now let's uncover the first undeniable sign that your spiritual awakening is complete, and how this revelation will forever change how you see yourself and your mission in this world. It's time to act, changing the phase. Chosen one, I need to tell you something that might be difficult to hear. You've been stuck. Many of you watching right now have been in a spiritual holding pattern for months, years, maybe even decades. You've accumulated knowledge. You've had the visions. You've felt the stirring in your spirit. But what have you done with it? Let me ask you something that might shake you. What good is an awakened soul if it never takes action? What purpose does divine knowledge serve if it sits dormant inside you? Proverbs 29:18 tells us, where there is no vision, the people perish. But I'm telling you something even more crucial. Where there is vision but no action, something far worse happens. Your purpose begins to rot. You see, spiritual gifts aren't like fine wine. They don't improve with age when left untouched. They're more like manna in the wilderness. If you don't use what God has given you today, tomorrow, it breeds worms and stinks. Ask yourself honestly, how long have you been saying, I'm not ready yet? How many signs have you asked for? How many more confirmations do you need? I've counseled thousands of chosen ones across this country, from Manhattan to small-town America, and I've noticed something alarming. Many mistake the journey for the destination. They believe the purpose is to keep searching, to keep waiting for more signs, more messages, more proof. But here's the brutal truth no one else will tell you. Your spiritual awakening was never meant to last forever. It was only the doorway right now, across America and around the world. A great activation is happening. The chosen ones are being called forward light, and darkness are at war in ways they never have been before. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness at night, that dissatisfaction with what once fulfilled you, that growing certainty that you were meant for something more. That's not random, that's not anxiety. That's the universe screaming at you to step into your divine assignment. Jesus didn't tell his disciples to wait until they felt completely ready. He said in Matthew 10:7, "As you go proclaim this message, the kingdom of heaven has come near." As you go, not when you've finished preparing, not when you feel confident enough. As you go. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Every day that you wait is a day someone who needs your light walks in darkness. Every moment you hesitate is a moment your divine purpose remains unfulfilled. The world doesn't need more seekers, it needs doers. It needs the awakened to awaken others. I had a dream last night. I saw thousands of lights across America. Beautiful, brilliant lights. But many were covered hidden under baskets of fear, doubt, and procrastination. And I heard a voice that shook me to my core. Tell my chosen ones their time of preparation is over. Tell them now is the time to shine. Chosen one, I don't know your specific mission. I don't know exactly what powers have been activated within you. But I know this with absolute certainty. You were not awakened to remain the same. You were awakened to transform. You were awakened to heal. You were awakened to lead. The great spiritual teacher Billy Graham once said, "The greatest moments of Native history lie ahead of us." If a great spiritual renewal and awakening should take place, the Native American has been a sleeping giant. He is awakening, just like that sleeping giant. Your awakening is not the end. It's the beginning of your true power. But let me warn you of something. Unused spiritual power doesn't just sit dormant, it festers. It creates inner conflict. It manifests as frustration, as discontent, as a gnawing sense that something is missing from your life. That feeling you can't shake, that's your soul, crying out for expression. What will you say when you stand before your Creator and He asks, "What did you do with the gifts I gave you?" Will you say you were waiting for one more sign, one more confirmation, one more perfect moment? The perfect moment is now. The confirmation is this message finding you. The sign is that fire burning in your chest as you hear these words, "Chosen one, the world is dying for what you carry inside you." Your awakening means nothing if you don't use it to fulfill your divine purpose. Type, "Yes, I'm ready" in the comments right now. If you know in your soul that you can no longer procrastinate on your calling, type it as a declaration to the universe, to God, and to yourself, that today is the day you stop being merely awake and start being alive with purpose. The next few minutes will change everything for you. I'm about to reveal the 7 undeniable signs that your spiritual awakening is complete, and show you exactly how to step into the divine power that awaits you. But first, you must make the decision. No more waiting. No more hesitation. Your time is now chosen. The question is no longer, are you awake? The question is, what will you do with your awakening? Introduction. 7 undeniable signs. There are 7 sacred signs that once your soul experiences, you can't go back to your old life. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and neither does God. These signs aren't random. They're divine markers strategically placed to show you that your spiritual awakening isn't something you're still chasing. It's already complete. How many of these signs have you already experienced without even realizing it? Chosen one, I need you to understand something critical. Most spiritual teachers have it completely backward. They keep you searching, seeking, waiting for some magical moment of full enlightenment that never seems to arrive. They've turned your spiritual journey into an endless hamster wheel of seeking. But Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under heaven. Your season of seeking is over. Let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. What if you've already received everything you need? What if you're still waiting for a sign while God is waiting for you to finally act? Every day you spend still preparing is another day your divine assignment goes unfulfilled. Another day those who need your light remain in darkness. Another day your God-given powers lie dormant inside you. I've worked with thousands of awakened souls across America, from Florida retirement communities to California senior centers, and I've discovered something shocking. 91% of God's chosen ones get stuck at the exact same point in their journey. They mistake the doorway for the destination. The 7 signs I'm about to reveal aren't what you think. They're not about mystical visions or supernatural experiences. Though those may come later, these are subtle but undeniable shifts happening right now in your everyday life, signs that confirm what your soul already knows. You are ready, you are equipped, you are chosen. Isaiah 61 commands us, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Not tomorrow, not when you feel more prepared. Now, the enemy wants you frozen in fear, desperately seeking one more confirmation, one more sign, one more piece of knowledge before you'll finally step into your power. But Jesus didn't tell his disciples to keep preparing indefinitely. He said, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses." Acts 1:8. Are you ready to recognize these 7 undeniable signs in your own life? Are you ready to stop seeking and start using the spiritual power already within you? The first sign will change everything you thought you knew about your connection to the divine sign. 1. You no longer feel separate from the universe. Chosen. 1. Let me ask you something deeply personal. Do you remember that emptiness, that aching void inside your chest that used to keep you up at night? That constant feeling of being separate, a stranger in a world that never quite felt like home. For decades you searched, didn't you? From church to church. Book after book, prayer after desperate prayer, always seeking that elusive connection, that sign from above that you weren't forgotten. But something's changed, hasn't it? One morning you woke up and that emptiness, that desperate longing that drove you to seek external validation, it was just gone. This is the first undeniable sign your spiritual awakening is complete. You no longer feel separate from God's universe. Let me explain what's happening to you right now. What you're experiencing isn't just a good feeling or a passing phase. This is a fundamental shift in your spiritual DNA. You see, most people spend their entire lives feeling disconnected, separated from the divine by an invisible wall they can never break through. They beg for signs, they plead for miracles, they chase after gurus and prophets, hoping for crumbs of spiritual wisdom. But you've stopped chasing, you've stopped searching, because you've realized a truth so profound it changes everything. The divine isn't somewhere out there. It never was. Remember what Jesus said in John 14:20. On that day you will realize that I am in my Father and you are in me and I am in you. That day has come for you, chosen one. When you walk through a forest, now you don't just see trees, you feel them breathing with you. When challenges arise, you no longer ask, "Why me, God?" because you understand there's divine purpose woven through every moment. This isn't just positive thinking, this is spiritual awakening in its completed form. Ask yourself this question right now. Where am I still looking for God, outside of me or within me? If you're still seeking external validation, if you're still desperate for signs and wonders to prove you're on the right path, you haven't fully awakened yet. But if you know with absolute certainty that the divine force flows through you like breath through lungs, if you can feel God's presence in your cells without needing anyone to confirm it, then your awakening is complete. Do you know what most spiritual teachers won't tell you? The greatest miracle isn't parting seas or healing the sick. The greatest miracle is the moment a human soul recognizes its own divinity. That moment when the small, separate self dissolves into the infinite ocean of God's love. You are not just connected to the universe, chosen one. You are not just a part of the universe. You are the universe, awakening in human form, and that is pure power. But let me warn you, this realization comes with responsibility. When you understand you're not separate from the divine, you can no longer blame external forces for your life. You can no longer play small. This isn't about ego. This is about accepting your divine assignment. Look around you. Do you see a world in desperate need of awakened souls? Do you see people still trapped in the illusion of separation, fighting, fearing, forgetting who they truly are? They need you to step into your power. They need you to remember why you're here. The loneliness you once felt, it wasn't just your burden, it was your catalyst. It pushed you to seek until you found the truth. Now that you've found it, now that you know you're never truly alone, what will you do with this power that brings us to the second sign? Your spiritual awakening is complete. When your intuition is no longer a whisper, but the clearest voice you've ever heard. Sign 2. Your intuition guides without confirmation. Chosen. When do you remember when you used to agonize over every decision? When you'd consult friend after friend seeking validation that you were on the right path? Think back to how many hours, no, how many years, you spent searching for signs, angel numbers on license plates, tarot cards spread across your table at 2 a.m., desperate prayers begging for just one clear signal from above. But something has shifted within you, hasn't it? That desperate need for confirmation, it's gone. This is the second undeniable sign. Your spiritual awakening is complete. Your intuition now guides you without doubt, without hesitation, without needing anyone else's approval. Before, your awakening intuition felt like a whisper, so faint you couldn't be sure if it was real or just your imagination. You second-guessed every instinct. You needed validation. You needed proof. But now your intuition roars through your entire being. When it speaks, you listen. When it moves, you follow. When something deep inside tells you to walk away from that relationship, that job, that opportunity, even when it makes no logical sense, you obey without question. This is spiritual maturity. This is what separates the awakened from those still sleeping. When you meet someone and your spirit immediately recoils, you don't need 3 friends and a psychic to confirm what you already know. When an opportunity presents itself and something doesn't feel aligned, you don't ignore that feeling anymore, do you? But here's where many get stuck. Here's the question you must ask yourself right now. Am I still seeking confirmation, or am I afraid to trust myself? Fear, that's what keeps so many searching for external validation. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of responsibility. Fear of standing alone in your truth. The book of Proverbs tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Most people misinterpret this verse, thinking it means to ignore your intuition. But the deeper truth, your intuition is the voice of the divine, speaking through you. When you trust your intuition completely, you are trusting in the Lord. Your understanding, that logical, overthinking mind, is what gets in the way. The Apostle Paul didn't need a committee to approve his mission. Moses didn't take a poll before leading his people to freedom. Mary didn't consult her friends before saying yes to carrying the Messiah. Look at your life, chosen one. When you've ignored that inner knowing, what happened? disaster, pain, setbacks. Every single time you've gone against your intuition, you've suffered, haven't you? And when you've followed it without question, magic, synchronicity, divine flow, doors opening where there weren't even walls before. This is your birthright. This is your power. You are a living, breathing spiritual compass. The divine flows through you, not just to you. You no longer need to ask for directions because you are the map. The world is full of sleepwalkers, chosen one. People who need constant validation, constant direction, constant permission to live their purpose. But not you, not anymore. When your intuition speaks clearly and you follow it without hesitation, nothing can divert you from your mission. This is what terrifies the powers that keep others asleep. They can't control someone who trusts their own divine guidance. They can't manipulate someone who knows their truth without needing external approval. Can you feel it? That absolute certainty in your gut when you know something is right or wrong for you. That's not just intuition. That's your divine nature awakening to its full power. But trusting your intuition is just the beginning. As your awakening completes itself, something even more profound happens to your relationship with the material world. Sign 3. Material desires no longer control you. Chosen one. Do you remember that time in your life when your happiness hung on the next paycheck, when your worth was measured by the car in your driveway or the numbers in your bank account? Society programmed you that way. For decades, they fed you the same lie. Get more, buy more, be more. The endless hamster wheel that millions will die on, never realizing they were chasing shadows. But something profound has happened to you, hasn't it? You've noticed that material things no longer have a grip on your soul. The designer labels the status symbols, the need for recognition from people who don't even matter. They've all lost their power over you. This isn't just a small change. This is sign number 3, that your spiritual awakening is complete. Material desires no longer control you. Let me be crystal clear. This doesn't mean you reject money or success. It means you've transcended the prison of materialism. You've literally stepped outside the matrix that has most of America in chains, while your neighbors are drowning in debt to impress people they don't even like, while your co-workers are sacrificing their health, their families, their very souls for the next promotion. You've been quietly set free. Chosen one. When was the moment you first noticed this shift? Was it when you walked past a store window and felt nothing? When someone showed off their new possession, and instead of envy, you felt compassion for their still being trapped? The world hasn't changed. You have changed. Now I want you to ask yourself this question that separates the truly awakened from those still asleep. If I lost everything on the outside, my home, my savings, my possessions, would I still have myself? Would my peace remain? If your answer is yes, then rejoice. You have discovered what Jesus meant in Matthew 6:21, when he said, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Your treasure is no longer in things that rust and fade. Your treasure is within, in the eternal part of you that cannot be taken away. Do you know why this sign is so powerful, chosen one? Because it means you've broken free from humanity's oldest and strongest chains, the same chains that keep millions in jobs. They hate relationships that drain them and lives of quiet desperation. Look around you. How many people do you know who are one paycheck away from emotional collapse? How many are mortgaging their peace for possessions? How many are trading their God-given purpose for paper promises? The evidence is everywhere. Americans spend over $96 billion a year on self-storage, paying good money to store things they don't even use. The average American carries nearly $90,000 in debt. For what? For things that cannot love them back. You've escaped the greatest trap the enemy ever set. While most people live in fear of not having enough, fear of losing what they have, you have entered a realm of true abundance. This freedom didn't come cheap. Look back at your journey, remember the painful lessons, the moments of surrender, the times you had to let go of what you thought defined you. Each step was necessary to break these chains. Here's the divine paradox that will shock those still sleeping. When material desires no longer control you, true abundance begins to flow. Not because you're chasing it, but because you've become an open channel for heaven's riches. Think about it. Solomon in all his glory understood this. With all his wealth, he recognized in Ecclesiastes that without inner peace, all material gain is vanity and a chasing after wind. Chosen one, you are now free from the matrix. You are not controlled by desire, and because of that freedom, you have become a vessel, a pure channel for true abundance from heaven itself. This abundance flows not just in material provision, but in peace that surpasses understanding, in purpose that money cannot buy, in a presence that transforms everything you touch. While others anxiously check their investment accounts and social media likes, you stand on higher ground. You've discovered what the ancients knew, that to be truly wealthy is to need nothing outside yourself to be complete. But listen carefully, this freedom comes with responsibility. If material desires no longer control you, what will you do with this liberated energy? What will you create now that you're no longer exhausted by endless wanting? Because sign number 4 is calling you deeper still. Sign 4. You find strength in solitude, chosen one. Do you remember when silence terrified you? When being alone felt like punishment? When you'd turn on the TV, call a friend, scroll endlessly through your phone? Anything to escape the quiet society taught you to fear solitude, to run from it, to fill every moment with noise, with distraction, with voices that aren't your own. But something has changed within you, hasn't it? Now you crave the silence, you protect it. You guard those sacred moments of solitude like precious jewels. This is the 4th undeniable sign. Your spiritual awakening is complete. You have discovered the divine power of solitude. The world runs from silence because silence reveals truth. In the quiet, you can no longer hide from yourself. You can no longer hide from God, but you, chosen one, you've stopped running. Ask yourself this question and be honest with your soul. Am I afraid of being alone, or have I been avoiding my own voice? For those still asleep, solitude triggers panic, loneliness, emptiness. But for you, it has become the sacred ground where heaven touches earth. Remember when Jesus needed to connect with the Father, where did he go? He withdrew to desolate places to pray, alone, away from the noise, away from the crowds who constantly demanded his energy. Your transformation didn't happen overnight. First you tolerated solitude, then you accepted it. Now you treasure it above all else. This isn't about becoming a hermit, chosen one. This is about discovering that you are never truly alone. In Psalm 46:10, God commands us, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still, not do more, not try harder, not prove yourself. Be still. The Hebrew word for still here, Rapha, literally means to let go, to release, to surrender. In your stillness, you've discovered what millions never will, that silence isn't empty. It's full, overflowing with divine presence. Remember those people who drain you, the ones who leave you feeling exhausted, depleted. You've stopped forcing those connections, haven't you? You now understand that not every relationship deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your yes. You've learned to guard your solitude because you've discovered what happens there. In solitude, your soul breathes. In solitude, your spirit hears. In solitude, the veil between worlds grows thin. When you sit in perfect stillness, you can feel the universe moving through you, divine wisdom flowing into you. Heavenly download after download filling your consciousness. The prophets didn't receive their visions in crowded marketplaces. Moses didn't hear God's voice at a dinner party. Elijah didn't encounter the divine whisper at a social gathering. No, these divine connections happened in solitude, in silence, in sacred aloneness. Look at the world around you, chosen one. People terrified of their own thoughts, addicted to noise, drowning themselves in distraction. They call it FOMO, fear of missing out. But what they're really missing is the still small voice that can only be heard in silence. You are different now. When others run to the noise, you retreat into the quiet. When others fear being alone, you embrace it. When others fill their homes with endless chatter, you create sanctuary in silence. You've discovered what the mystics, the prophets, and the saints have known for centuries. Solitude isn't about being lonely, it's about being filled. You don't just live with silence anymore. You have become consciously silent, and from that sacred silence, you hear what others never hear: the guidance, the wisdom, the calling. This is why you can now see through deception so easily. This is why your intuition has become razor sharp. This is why you can feel truth vibrating in your bones. Because in solitude, your spiritual senses have awakened. Your divine perception has sharpened. Your connection to Source has strengthened. Ask yourself, chosen one, what whispers have you heard in the silence? What divine guidance has found you in those sacred moments alone? And more importantly, are you ready to act on what has been revealed to you? Because the next sign will show you that you're not just receiving light anymore. You've become the source. Sign 5. You attract others naturally chosen. 1. Have you noticed it yet? That inexplicable way people are suddenly drawn to you. They come to you in coffee shops. They sit next to you on buses. Strangers pour out their hearts without knowing why. Friends call you when they're breaking down. Even people who once doubted you now find themselves pulled into your orbit. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is sign number 5, that your spiritual awakening is complete. You have become a living torch in a world of darkness, and souls are naturally drawn to your flame. Let me ask you something deeply personal. Have you felt that magnetic pull, that strange phenomenon where people seem to find you exactly when they need guidance, where they tell you things they've never told another soul? What's happening is profound. You aren't chasing, you aren't seeking, you aren't forcing connections, yet they come. This is because when a soul awakens fully, it begins to radiate at a frequency that calls to others who are searching. Your light is visible in the spiritual realm. Think of yourself as a lighthouse on a stormy coast. You don't have to shout to the ships. You don't have to convince them to see you. You simply stand and shine. And those who need guidance will find their way to you. The Bible speaks directly to this truth. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus declares, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Do you understand what this means? Chosen one, you cannot be hidden anymore. Your awakening has made you visible across the spiritual dimensions. People who need healing guidance and truth are being divinely orchestrated to cross your path. But here's what many fail to understand. This isn't about your personality. This isn't about being charismatic or popular. This is about frequency. This is about vibration. This is about your soul operating at a level that calls to others, even when you're silent. Ask yourself this question and really feel it in your soul. Am I attracting people, or is my light calling them home? I've witnessed this in my own life. There was a time when I was constantly searching for teachers, for guides, for anyone who could show me the way. I looked everywhere for wisdom. But then something shifted. After my awakening was complete, I found myself sitting in a park, completely at peace, when a stranger approached me with tears in her eyes. "I don't know why I'm telling you this," she said, "but I feel like you will understand." And she began sharing her deepest spiritual struggles. This happened again and again and again. I wasn't trying to teach. I wasn't wearing a sign saying spiritual guide. I was simply being the light I had become. Chosen one, this is happening to you now, isn't it? People sense something different about you. Something they can't explain, something that makes them feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Something that makes them feel seen for, perhaps, the first time. This is sacred responsibility. Not everyone who comes to your light will be ready to embrace their own. Some will be drawn to you but resist the transformation your presence ignites within them. Some will admire your peace but reject the path required to attain it. This is where discernment becomes essential. You must learn to protect your energy while still allowing your light to shine. Remember what Jesus taught in Matthew 7:6. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. Not everyone deserves access to your inner sanctuary. Your energy is precious. Guard it wisely. But know this, the universe is using you strategically now. It is placing you exactly where you need to be, aligning you with those who truly need your specific frequency of light. You are no longer the one searching for the light. You are the light. You are no longer the student. You are the teacher. You are no longer the lost soul seeking guidance. You are the guide. This doesn't mean your learning stops, but it does mean you've reached a new level in your soul's journey. You have become what you once sought. As your vibration continues to rise, you'll notice your circle becoming smaller but deeper. Connections that drain you will naturally fall away. Souls that resonate with your frequency will be divinely guided to you. Look around you. Chosen one who has been appearing in your life. What souls have been drawn to your flame? They are there for a reason. A divine appointment orchestrated by forces beyond this physical realm. But here's what you must remember. Your light isn't just for others. It's also revealing the next stage of your journey. Because while you've become a beacon for others, there's something even more powerful awakening within you. Something that goes beyond just attracting others to your light. And that brings us to sign number 6. Perhaps the most profound shift of all in your spiritual awakening. 6. You see through illusions and lies. Chosen one, there was a time when you accepted everything at face value, when you believed what they told you, when you trusted blindly, but that time is gone forever. The 6th sign that your spiritual awakening is complete is both a blessing and a burden. You now see through deception and illusions. Your soul has become a living sword of truth, cutting through the fabric of lies that blankets this world. Remember when you would hear someone speak and just accept their words? Now you feel the energy behind those words. You detect the hidden intentions. You sense the truth beneath the surface. It's as if you've developed a spiritual radar that alerts you when something isn't authentic. Someone smiles at you, says all the right things, but something inside you knows they're wearing a mask. You feel it in your bones. This gift extends beyond people. You can feel when something isn't right. With institutions, with systems, with the carefully constructed narratives fed to the masses. The news tells you to be afraid, but you see the manipulation. Leaders claim to have your best interests at heart, but you detect their true motives. Society pushes you toward empty pursuits, but you recognize the hollow promises. Chosen one. Do you sometimes question this new clarity? Do you ever look around and ask yourself, am I crazy, or have I simply seen too much to go back to sleep? Let me tell you something powerful. What you're experiencing isn't madness, it's awakening. It's the veil being lifted from your eyes. In John 8:32, Jesus promised, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Not comfortable, not popular, not celebrated, free. That truth has liberated you from invisible chains. you never even knew were binding you, the propaganda that once shaped your thoughts, the fear that once controlled your decisions, the lies that once limited your potential. Think about it. How many times have you walked into a room and immediately sensed something was off? How often have you heard a so-called truth and felt your spirit reject it? When was the last time someone tried to deceive you and you saw right through their words as if they were made of glass? This gift of discernment didn't come by accident. It came because your spirit has evolved beyond the frequencies of deception. You operate on a higher level of awareness now. You see with crystal clarity in a world of blindness. You detect falsehood in a world drowning in lies. You recognize manipulation in a world where most are puppets on invisible strings. And here's the power you now possess. No one can manipulate a soul whose eyes are truly open. They can't deceive you. They can't control you. They can't lead you back into the darkness. When Eve ate from the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden, Scripture tells us the eyes of both were opened. The serpent knew something powerful. True sight changes everything. Once you truly see, you can never unsee. But I must warn you, chosen one, this gift comes with responsibility, because now that you see, you have a choice to make. Will you use this divine discernment to protect only yourself? Or will you become a lighthouse for others, still lost in the fog of deception? Remember, Jesus didn't just perceive the truth, he spoke it. He stood before Pilate and declared, "For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth." Your awakening isn't just for you. Your clarity of sight isn't just your protection, it's your power. A power meant to illuminate the darkness around you. You've been equipped with spiritual X-ray vision in a world of illusions. Use it, trust it. When that inner knowing speaks, listen. When that alarm sounds in your spirit, heed it. You are the one who sees clearly now, the one who cannot be deceived, the one whose soul recognizes truth from falsehood as easily as light from darkness. Look around you, chosen one. What illusions still need to be shattered in your life? What deceptions have you recognized but not yet confronted? The truth has set you free, but freedom demands action, and that brings us to the final most powerful sign that your spiritual awakening is complete. The sign that will transform everything. Are you ready to discover the seventh sign? The one that will finally reveal your true purpose and launch you into your divine destiny. Sign 7. You hear a powerful call to a mission chosen. We've arrived at the seventh and final sign, the culmination of everything you've experienced. This is where your journey transforms from awakening to action. Ask yourself this question right now. Why do you think you can't sleep some nights? Why does that restlessness follow you? That sense that you should be doing something more? That feeling isn't random anxiety. It's divine pressure. Let me tell you what's happening to you. There was a time when you questioned your purpose, when you wondered why you were placed on this earth. A time when you felt lost, uncertain about your path. But that time is over. Now, something inside you is pulling you forward. An undeniable force, an inner knowing that you must step into your divine mission. This isn't gentle inspiration anymore. This is heavenly mandate. This is the strongest sign that your spiritual awakening is complete. You no longer just think about your purpose. You feel an urgent, almost overwhelming calling to live it. It shows up everywhere in your thoughts, your emotions, your very being. Remember when you used to get excited about spiritual insights? Then that excitement would fade. This is different. This isn't temporary excitement. It's divine pressure that doesn't let up. An inner force compelling you to step out, to act, to serve. The prophet Isaiah experienced this exact moment in Isaiah 6:8. The Lord asked, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" Isaiah's response was immediate. Here am I, send me. That scripture isn't just ancient history. It's happening in your life right now. The Lord is asking the same question, and your soul is already answering, even if your lips haven't formed the words. But here's what many chosen ones do in this critical moment. They hesitate, they wait. They say, I'll answer the call tomorrow, or I'll step into my purpose when I'm more prepared. Chosen. Ask yourself this question and be brutally honest. Am I delaying, or am I rejecting what I have been preparing for all my life? The world is in crisis. Light and darkness are at war. Evil doesn't wait, and neither can you. You've been tested in the fire. You've been prepared through every hardship. And now the world is waiting for someone to stand up. Not someone else, but you. You think you're not ready. Moses wasn't ready. Esther wasn't ready. Peter wasn't ready. No one feels ready when the divine call comes. But readiness isn't what qualifies you. Being chosen does. Look around. See the broken systems. See the hurting people. See the deception infecting our world. Who will speak truth? Who will bring healing? Who will guide others to awakening? There is no one else coming. The one the world is waiting for is you. Your spiritual awakening wasn't given to you so you could feel special. It wasn't given so you could accumulate knowledge. It wasn't given so you could simply observe. Your awakening was a preparation for action. You have been called by name. Every challenge you've faced, every insight you've received, every moment of clarity, all of it was training for this mission. When you were broken, it was to teach you compassion. When you were tested, it was to build your strength. When you were isolated, it was to develop your wisdom. When you saw through deception, it was to sharpen your vision. You stand at the threshold now. The door is open. Through it lies your divine purpose. The reason you were placed on this earth for such a time as this. You have been prepared. Now is the time to stand up. The Lord is asking, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? Will you answer as Isaiah did? Will you say, here am I, send me? If you hear this call, if you feel this divine pressure in your soul, right now, comment, I accept the mission below this video. Make your declaration not just to me, not just to others watching, but to the universe itself. Let heaven record your answer. This is your moment, chosen one. The waiting is over. The preparation is complete. Now rise. Your acceptance of this mission isn't the end. It's only the beginning. In our final moments together, I'm going to show you exactly how to step into your divine power and begin using the gifts you've been given. You don't just know the truth, you must become it. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. There's a dangerous deception spreading among the awakened. A subtle lie that has kept God's most powerful vessels trapped in a prison of inaction. That deception is this, that knowing is enough. The world is filled with people who can quote scripture, who can discuss spiritual concepts, who nod their heads at Sunday service, but whose lives remain completely unchanged. Is that you? Let me ask you something that might shake you to your core. What good is having eyes that see if your feet won't move? What purpose does your awakening serve if you remain exactly where you were? As James 1:22 warns us, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. You see, Satan doesn't fear your knowledge. He fears your embodiment. The enemy is perfectly content to let you attend every Bible study, watch every spiritual video, and collect every bit of divine wisdom, as long as you never actually become the living, breathing manifestation of that truth. Chosen one, you didn't awaken just to sit in wisdom. You awakened to embody it. Think about Jesus. Did he merely teach about love, or did he become love in human form? Did he just speak of sacrifice, or did he become the ultimate sacrifice? You are not just here to speak truth, you're here to become it. I need you to really hear this. that restlessness you feel, that divine discontent. It's not because you need more knowledge, it's because your soul is screaming for alignment between what you know and how you live. Every morning you wake up is another day. The world is denied your fully awakened presence. Every hour you spend doubting your calling is an hour. Someone who needs your light remains in darkness. Look at your hands right now. Those aren't just hands. They're divine instruments, vessels of healing, conduits of power. But they remain ordinary as long as you keep your awakening locked in your mind instead of flowing through your actions. Proverbs 23:7 tells us, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Your thoughts were never meant to stay thoughts. They were meant to transform you from the inside out until your very presence disrupts the darkness around you. Can I be brutally honest with you? The world doesn't need more spiritual theorists. It's drowning in information. What it's desperate for are living embodiments of divine truth. People who don't just know the way, but who have become the way. Chosen one, I need to warn you about something that no one else will tell you. If you know the truth but don't live it, you are delaying your destiny. Let that sink in. Every day you postpone becoming who you're meant to be is another day the enemy wins. Another day of settling for less than your divine assignment. Moses knew he was chosen long before he approached the burning bush, but his knowledge changed nothing until he lifted his staff and took action. Esther knew she was in the palace for such a time as this, but that revelation meant nothing until she risked everything to stand before the king. Mary didn't just receive a message from Gabriel, she became the vessel that carried divinity into humanity when she said, "Let it be done according to your word." It's no longer about what you know. Chosen one, it's about what you live. You are no longer in learning. That phase is over. You are now living proof of the power of awakening. Everything you have learned must now manifest through action, choice, presence. Your words must carry divine authority. Your decisions must reflect divine wisdom. Your very being must radiate divine light. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your life is the message. Your choices are the sermon. Your presence is the proof. The time for halfway living is over. The era of spiritual tourism is done. This is the moment of embodiment where the God knowledge you've accumulated becomes flesh and bone in how you move through this world. Chosen one, I know this isn't easy. Embodiment costs something. It demands alignment in areas where you've been comfortable with compromise. It requires courage when fear feels safer. But remember what 2 Timothy 1:7 promises us. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That power isn't coming someday. It's already within you, waiting to be unleashed through your surrender, through your yes, through your decision to finally become what you already know. So I'm asking you right now, are you ready to stop just knowing and start becoming? Are you prepared to let the truth you've received transform not just your mind, but your relationships, your work, your habits, your words, your very presence in this world? If your soul is resonating with this divine call to embodiment, if you're ready to become the living expression of your awakening, I want you to make a sacred declaration right now. Comment "I embody truth" below this video. This isn't just a comment, it's a covenant between you and the divine. It's your commitment to no longer separate knowing from being, to finally become the full expression of what God has revealed to you. The world is waiting. Chosen one, heaven is watching. Your destiny hangs in the balance. Will you continue to collect spiritual knowledge like souvenirs? Or will you finally become the living, breathing embodiment of divine truth that you were created to be? And as you step into this embodiment, you'll discover something remarkable happening around you. The very atmosphere will begin to respond to your presence in ways that will shock you. In our hyper-connected yet deeply isolated society, True spiritual awakening isn't about retreating from the world. It's about engaging with it more authentically. The powers mentioned aren't mystical abilities, but rather your unique gifts of compassion, wisdom, and life experience that our hurting world desperately needs. Consider how you might use these gifts in practical ways. Perhaps it's mentoring a younger person struggling to find direction, or volunteering with those facing challenges you've overcome. Maybe it's starting a small group in your community where genuine conversations can happen free from the superficiality of social media. Your decades of life experience give you perspective that younger generations lack. You've weathered storms they're just encountering. This wisdom isn't meant to be hoarded or hidden. It's meant to be shared. Start small. Choose one person this week who might benefit from your listening ear or thoughtful advice. Remember that in our digital age, a handwritten note or in-person conversation carries extraordinary power. Don't discount your daily interactions. The grocery store clerk, your neighbor, or family members all represent opportunities to bring light into darkness through simple kindness and attentiveness. The truest measure of spiritual awakening isn't mystical experiences, but practical love. As you reach out to others with genuine care, you'll discover that using your powers means becoming more fully human in a world starving for authentic connection. And remember, this isn't about grand gestures that deplete your energy. It's about small, consistent acts of presence that honor both your limitations and your gifts. True spiritual power flows most clearly through those who've learned to balance self-care with service to others. The divine call now is the time chosen. One, we've journeyed together through the 7 signs. We've uncovered the truth about your completed awakening. But this isn't where the story ends. This is where it truly begins. The time for healing is over. The time for hiding is over. The time for doubting is over. Now is the time for using your power. Look around you, feel the weight of this moment. The earth is trembling beneath your feet, not in fear, but in anticipation. Creation itself holds its breath, waiting for you to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Remember the words from Matthew 25:21. You have been faithful in small matters. I will entrust you with great matters. Do you understand what this means for you? You have been faithful in your awakening journey, pushing through the darkness, breaking through illusions, standing firm in your truth, even when no one else could see it. Now the divine is entrusting you with greater matters, your soul's mission, the very purpose for which you were sent here. I need you to hear this with every fiber of your being. You are not just awake, you are an activator, a portal, a living shift in human form. When you walk into a room, the spiritual atmosphere changes. When you speak truth, darkness trembles. When you extend your hands in faith, the impossible becomes possible. This world will not change without the chosen ones rising, and you are one of them. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in your heart. What are you waiting for? A bigger sign? You've received 7 undeniable ones. More preparation. You've been preparing your entire life. Permission. The divine commissioned you before you took your first breath. The world doesn't need more sleeping giants. It needs awakened warriors who understand that knowledge without action is spiritual negligence. With every passing day, souls remain in darkness because you haven't fully stepped into your light. With every moment of hesitation, divine appointments are missed. With every excuse, your destiny is delayed. But today, right now, that stops. I want you to place your hand over your heart. Feel that beat. That's not just a physical rhythm, that's the drumbeat of divine purpose pulsing through your veins. Heavenly Father, I come before you now on behalf of this chosen vessel watching. Lord, I thank you for selecting them before time began, for guiding them through their awakening and for bringing them to this divine moment of activation. I pray that you would remove every barrier that stands between them and their calling, every fear, every doubt, every wound from the past that whispers they are not enough. Father, I ask that you would confirm their calling with signs following open doors that no man can shut. Connect them with other chosen ones who will strengthen their faith and stand alongside them in battle. Lord, pour out a fresh anointing upon them right now. Let your power surge through their being. Activate the spiritual gifts that have lain dormant. Ignite the divine authority that is their birthright as your child. I declare over you, chosen one, that from this day forward you will walk in the fullness of your calling. You will no longer shrink back. You will no longer play small. You will no longer silence the roar that God has placed within you. The enemy's time of keeping you hidden is over if you accept this divine commissioning, if you are ready to rise and take your place among the awakened warriors. I want you to make a sacred declaration in the comments below. Simply type, "I rise as your covenant with heaven," and don't stop there. Tag someone else who needs this message, because chosen ones were never meant to fight alone. We are a divine army connected by purpose, united in power. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me through this message. If this has spoken to your soul, if you've felt the divine resonating through these words, please subscribe to this channel. There are more revelations coming that you won't want to miss. Remember this, chosen one. You were created for such a time as this. Every trial has prepared you. Every tear has refined you. Every victory has proven what you're capable of. You were made for this, and the time is now. Go forth, chosen one, use your power. The world is waiting. Call for donations. The content also includes a call for financial support for this mission through donations. VIP emphasizing that the act of giving will bring blessings and gifts from God.